How to fix Valorant not opening after update. Welcome back to Teknobalta. If your Valorant is stuck on the login screen, giving you a black screen, or freezing right after an update, you are not alone. At Teknobalta, we analyzed this error extensively to figure out exactly why the game refuses to launch properly. Our team has compiled the most comprehensive and verified troubleshooting guide to get you back into the lobby without crashes. Let us dive straight into the technical solutions. Switch from integrated graphics to dedicated GPU. The most critical issue we identified involves the game attempting to use the integrated graphics processor instead of your dedicated graphics card. Switching this assignment manually has proven to be a direct solution for the black screen and startup freezes. To fix this, navigate to your Windows graphics settings and locate the Valorant executable file. Force the system to run the game on high performance so it utilizes your dedicated graphics card rather than the integrated chip. Update graphics card drivers. Outdated or corrupted graphics drivers frequently cause the game to freeze immediately or display a black screen. During our testing, we found that updating your display drivers is highly effective for resolving post-update launch issues. Download the latest driver package directly from NVIDIA or AMD, depending on your hardware. We highly recommend selecting the Clean Installation option to remove any corrupted files from previous versions. Run Windows System File Checker. Windows System file corruption can prevent Valorant from executing properly after a patch. We confirmed that running a system file checker scan is an excellent diagnostic step. Open your command prompt as an administrator and type sfc/scano before pressing enter. Let this process complete entirely to automatically repair any missing or damaged Windows files that might be interfering with the game. Run DISM RestoreHealth command. If the SFC scan does not resolve the issue, the Windows deployment. Our team successfully utilized the deployment. In the same elevated command prompt, execute the command DISM/online/cleanupimage/RestoreHealth. This process might take several minutes, but it provides a deep level of system repair necessary for stable gaming. Reinstall Riot Vanguard anti-cheat. Riot Vanguard is a highly intrusive anti-cheat system that can easily break after major game updates. We discovered that completely uninstalling Vanguard and allowing the Riot client to download a fresh copy resolves many startup crashes. Navigate to your Windows settings, go to Apps, and uninstall Riot Vanguard. Restart your computer and launch the Riot client to automatically reinstall the anti-cheat software. Completely reinstall Valorant. When targeted fixes fail, the game files themselves may have become irrevocably corrupted during the patching process. We tested a complete removal and reinstallation of Valorant, which acts as a definitive reset for local game data. Uninstall Valorant entirely from your system and delete any remaining Riot Games folders in your local application data directories. Download the latest installer from the official website to ensure a clean slate. Update system BIOS. Outdated motherboard firmware can cause severe compatibility issues with modern anti-cheat software. Our testing verified that updating your system BIOS can eliminate deep-level hardware conflicts, preventing the game from launching. Check your motherboard manufacturer's website for the latest firmware version and follow their specific flashing instructions. Ensure your computer is connected to a reliable power source before beginning this update. Run Valorant as administrator. Permission restrictions often block the Riot client from executing necessary background services. We found that elevating the privileges of the game executable bypasses these restrictions effectively. Right-click on the Valorant shortcut and select Properties from the context menu. Under the Compatibility tab, check the box that says Run this program as an administrator and apply the changes. Disable full-screen optimizations. Windows attempts to optimize full-screen applications, but this feature frequently conflicts with Valorant. At Teknobalta, We consistently resolve micro-stutters and launch crashes by disabling this feature. Click Apply and OK to save these modifications before launching the game. Set Valorant to high priority. Resource allocation issues can cause Valorant to hang indefinitely on the startup screen. We verified that forcing Windows to prioritize the game over background applications yields immediate improvements. Launch the game, open your Task Manager, and navigate to the Details tab. Right-click the Valorant process, select Set Priority, and change it to High. Allow Valorant through Windows Firewall. Network restrictions within Windows Firewall sometimes block the game from communicating with Riot servers, resulting in an infinite loading screen. Our team confirmed that manually adding an exception for both Valorant and Vanguard eliminates this barrier. Search for Windows Defender Firewall in your Start menu and select Allow an app or feature through Windows Defender Firewall. Ensure both public and private network boxes are checked for the Riot client, Valorant, and Vanguard. Disable third-party antivirus temporarily. Overly aggressive third-party antivirus programs often flag Vanguard files as false positives. During our analysis, we noted that temporarily disabling these security suites allows the game to patch and launch without interference. Right-click your antivirus icon in the system tray and pause the protection for 10 minutes. If the game launches successfully, you must add the entire Riot Games folder to your antivirus exclusion list. Clear Riot client cache. Temporary data accumulated by the Riot client can become corrupted, especially after interrupted updates. We discovered that purging this local cache forces the client to rebuild essential connection files. Press the Windows key and R simultaneously, type %localappdata% and press Enter. Locate the Riot Games folder and simply delete it before restarting your computer. Change DNS settings. DNS routing issues can trap you on the initial loading screen because the game cannot fetch user profile data. We tested switching to a public, high-speed DNS provider and found it highly reliable for fixing login timeouts. Go to your network connections, open the properties of your active adapter, and select Internet Protocol version 4. Change your DNS addresses to 8 for the preferred server and 4 for the alternate server. Close background processes. Overlays and background applications like Discord, GeForce Experience, or hardware monitoring tools can overlay improperly and crash the game engine. At Teknobalta, we always recommend establishing a clean environment by terminating these non-essential processes. Open Task Manager and manually end any overlay programs or heavy background applications before starting the Riot client. Verify Secure Boot and TPM2. 0. If you are running Windows 11, Riot Vanguard strictly requires both Secure Boot and TPM2. 0 to be active. Our team confirmed that failing to meet these hardware security requirements will result in a hard lock out of the game. Restart your computer and enter your BIOS interface to ensure that both Secure Boot and TPM are enabled. Save your changes and exit to reboot into Windows properly. Perform a clean boot. Software conflicts are notoriously difficult to track down, so isolating the system services is a necessary diagnostic step. We utilize the Windows Clean Boot process to prevent third-party services from launching at startup. Open the System Configuration tool, hide all Microsoft services, and disable all remaining third-party services except for the VGC service required by Vanguard. Restart your machine and test the game. Check for Windows system updates. Running an outdated build of Windows can lead to compatibility breakdowns with the latest version of Riot Vanguard. We verified that maintaining an updated operating system is crucial for a stable gaming experience. Navigate to your Windows Update settings and manually check for any pending feature updates or cumulative patches. Install everything available and reboot your computer to apply the changes completely. Check Event Viewer Logs. When all surface-level fixes fail, we must dig into the system logs to identify the exact point of failure. At Teknobalta, we use the Windows Event Viewer to trace the crash codes associated with the Valorant executable. Open Event Viewer, expand Windows Logs, and click on Application to search for red error entries matching the exact time you tried to launch the game. These codes provide specific directions for advanced troubleshooting. Reset network configuration. Persistent black screens can sometimes be traced back to deeply corrupted Windows network socket configurations. Our team successfully resolved these rare cases by completely flushing and resetting the network stack. Open an elevated command prompt and type netwinsock reset followed by enter. Restart your computer immediately to let Windows rebuild the socket architecture from scratch. Don't forget to follow Teknobalta for more.